Use that, bro.
Deer are resilient.
Saw Big Buck, got buck fever, missed it.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 2 of Catching Hell, the podcast. We're joined this evening by our good friend Robert.
Hey everyone, how are you?
And we're here to discuss a little pre-gun hunt plans and what our expectations are for next week at the cabin in Southern Ohio. I've also got Phil here with me.
What's up?
And we're just going to get right into it. So episode number 1 dropped yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Is approved and up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Waiting for iHeartRadio to go, but I think we've had pretty positive response thus far.
The wife liked it.
My wife liked it too. I was surprised she listened to it.
Me too. So I was listening to it, and Courtney's like, wait, I want to listen to it. So I played it, and there were a couple spots where I thought it would be a little boring for her when we talk specific hunt stuff and whatnot. So I tried to skip it. She's like, no, don't skip it. Just let it play. I was like, oh, sweet. She's actually into this. So, at the end, I said, what do you think? She's like, it's good. You sound genuine, sound like real conversation. That was the goal here is, good conversation, get people to listen. I got, 5 or 6 sure text messages right away as soon as it was up. So that was good. So people are listening.
My wife listened to it on her own. She won't watch our videos on her own.
Really?
She won't watch anything I ever tell her to watch. So when I got home yesterday and she said that she had listened to it on her own while she was cleaning, I was very happy. So, and I've listened to it a few times, and it also was listenable.
Yeah, I was listening to it in the truck at the school pickup line for the kids, and somebody pulled in and rolled their window down. Nice podcast. I'm listening to it as I was listening to it. So it was pretty cool.
So between you and I, of the 40 listens, we've got 5 of them covered. So.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to it once. I don't know if Jessica's listened to it or not, but even though I was aware of pretty much 95% of what you guys talked about, I also found it interesting and wanted to listen. So it was really cool. Sweet. You guys did an awesome job.
Appreciate it.
Hoping to continue with you here with us. So what we're doing this the night before Thanksgiving, when most people are planning on going out to the bars and getting drunk in a normal year, but still COVID, early. So the bar shut down in like an hour and a half. So what are your plans for the holiday tomorrow, fellas?
I will be so we do like our family tradition in our house is the parade. So I usually get up and I'll make a big breakfast. We'll watch the parade, and we usually go to my grandma's. She lives out in Cleveland, and that's one of my favorite trips to make because my grandpa does a huge model train thing down in his basement, and the boys love that. And to us, that's like the kickoff of Christmas season. So we won't be going there, unfortunately. So we'll do some FaceTime with my grandma and my parents, and just kind of do a small dinner with her parents, just because we've interacted with them. They're both retired, so it makes it easy. They're not really going anywhere, doing anything. They kind of stay at home, keep to themselves. There's some health reasons as to why they stay to themselves, which is good. So we won't be completely alone, but it definitely won't be like normal. So I know it's cool. We'll see how it goes.
What are the Dooleys doing?
I wouldn't say that we're starting a new tradition. Thanksgiving is typically a hectic day for us. We all have split families. People want us to go to their house and eat 5 different places. So, even though it's been COVID and it's been locked down, kind of looking forward to cooking our own turkey for, I think, the first time. We may have cooked one years ago, but cooking a turkey and, just being with the family and keeping it small and keeping it simple, something I look forward to, even though we've spent a lot of time together this year locked in the house with coronavirus. So
Understand that for sure.
How about you guys?
Well, like you guys, normally we do like 3 or 4 different things, but we are foregoing those this year because we have grandparents that are elderly and just don't want to compromise them because the kids have been busy with school and basketball. So everybody in our family is healthy. We just don't want to take the chance. So we're going to do what we normally do on Thursdays, which is a family dinner at my mom and dad's, but we're doing it at lunch with just us and my sister and her husband. Other than that, not really anything. I'm not doing anything. If it's nice, I'm hoping the kids go outside and play and not spend the entire day on the iPad.
Right.
But I don't plan on doing much other than sitting on the couch. I do have to walk in the morning so I can meet my goal.
Yeah, it's
But other than that, that's about the much physical activities I'm going to do.
the cool thing about, I guess, if you could put silver lining into being in a pandemic, is all the extra time you get with your family. You know, we will probably never have this much time to just be with the boys and our wives and do things together. Last year, especially this time of year, was as crazy as our lives have ever been. Especially when basketball started. So football was still going on when basketball started, and it was something every night. And, you know, it got to the point where putting stuff on the calendar was giving everybody anxiety. Right now, there's 3 things on the calendar, and 2 of them are cabin trips. So, I mean, it's still nice to have all that extra time. But today, with the kids home from school, while I'm still working from home, was a nice reminder of, I'm glad the kids are back in school on campus, but you know, you still want to kind of cherish the time we have together.
For sure. Also, we want to remind everybody to go and check out, not only, obviously you're listening to our podcast here, but we do have our YouTube channel. Right now it's listed as Hell Is All I Catch until we get like a lot more followers and it'll actually have its official name. Go check that out for any videos if you want to understand a little bit more about where we're at and what we're doing and what we're going to be talking about, especially as we move through this with guests, because we're hoping to do some hunts and fishing trips with guests and then bring them in to talk to them. Also follow us on Facebook at Catchin' Hell is our Facebook page. Instagram is Catchin_Hell, which we are working on.
Yeah, and we'll put all the links in the description for the podcast. Make it easy for everybody to, couple clicks and catch out what we're doing. We got busy couple weeks coming up for us.
Yep. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that if you listen to this and watch the videos, it'll all kind of tie together. So we appreciate everybody checking us out and continue to like it, share it, subscribe to it, because as we build this, then we can continue to grow. So let's dive into why we're here tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we are 4 or 5 days away from opening of Ohio gun season on Monday morning.
Can't wait.
And I think we're planning on going down to the cabin Sunday sometime. We'll work those details out.
2 a.m.? How's that sound?
Too early for me.
Too early for me.
I think I'm driving, so
You don't want to get down there in the dark
Right.
when it's this cold.
I'm just excited.
And if we have
I'm
bats,
sorry.
and if we have bats again, I don't want to deal with the bats in
No.
the winter.
I think we've been there frequently enough this year. They're not getting too comfortable.
I don't think they are either. We were just there 2 weeks ago, so if they've moved in, they moved in quick.
That is probably one of the biggest bullshit moments I've had trying to check into or get settled into any place.
Was the bats last year?
Oh, yeah. The hiss they make, I'm terrified of it.
Yeah, I was ready to burn the
bunch of girls.
house down.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was bad. We killed bats, people. Sorry, they're the reason we're in this situation. So
Right.
if you're mad that we killed a bat, then you whatever. But we killed them with shovels and hornet spray.
A whole can.
Fear.
Robert was our hero, spraying it just so we could turn the water on and not freeze to death. But we shouldn't have that problem this week. We're going to go down there Sunday, do some scouting, hopefully, I'm checking the weather right now, but it changes like every 5 minutes down
Yeah,
there.
I looked earlier. It was, I think, 60% chance of rain Monday. I think Sunday was decent.
Sunday looks good.
Tuesday was a chance of snow.
Oh, the snow moved to Tuesday?
That was the
Yeah,
weather I
it's-
found. But
Sunday 53 and sunny. Monday 43, 70% chance of rain. Tuesday 35, 60% chance of snow. Wednesday 38,
It's
40.
going to suck sitting through that rain,
Chance
but
of
I'm
snow.
sitting out there.
help me decide which gear I'm taking.
Monday rainfall around half an inch, but that could be like that could start at midnight and be
Right.
So we were not going to know until we get there. But I hate when it rains on opening day.
Yeah. You want to put something positive on it that makes the leaves not so damn loud.
Yeah, walking into the woods.
Yeah. But
We'll see. It'll change 5 times between then because a week ago it looked perfect.
yeah, and I think that's why it makes sense to have plan A, plan B, and backup plan in terms of our property, in terms of public land. I know, Robert, we talked about, really wanting to utilize that public land for a couple of reasons. One, it's just something new to look at, something different than sitting in a blind. But also, we're going to have 5 guys on 15 acres. So you don't want anybody to feel like, I'll stay out of your way, so I'll go here. It's everybody's trip.
There's enough space
Yeah, for sure. Especially with all the surrounding area.
that we've been given permission this year to hunt.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it would be, just lazy of us to go without options and really try to be smart about, which option makes sense, for the forecast, the activity, what we saw in trail cams. If trail cams don't really improve from what we saw during bow season, I don't know if it makes sense to be stubborn and sit on the property and pray for something to come out where you might not even take a shot at it or not. So
The only benefit we have there is we know they have food.
yeah, and the blinds are going to be warmer than sitting out in the elements, but
Right.
put that gear to the test.
Yeah. Speaking of gear, what are you planning on? I know you bought everything new.
Yeah, so this year, I want to say almost everything is new gear wise. I have 4 pieces of the new Under Armour. So the Windstopper infill jacket and then the Timber jacket. I actually got one of them here today because it's cold up here. And then I've got some Brow Time pants and some Windstopper pants. So I'm good when it comes to heat. I'm good when it comes to rain. The only thing that they offer that I don't have that I'm not going to get unless we go somewhere else is, they have an Alpine Ops kit, which is for mountains and sub-zero temps and stuff like that. So just gear-wise, I'm pretty good. I will be bringing out, I have a new Ruger American Ranch 350 Legend bolt-action rifle. Pretty excited about that. I think it's fun to shoot. Other than that,
How many rounds have you put through it now?
so at first it wasn't a lot. At first I didn't have a lot of ammo, and if you're a gun owner, this, in today's world, guns and parts and ammo are impossible to find. And I have a buddy who lives out of state who has access to an outdoor store pretty close to him, and they always seem to have good supply of ammo. And I bought, Courtney's going to listen to this, whatever. I bought 12 boxes of ammo from him just because it was pre-COVID prices. So once I got that in, I was able to shoot it a lot more. I'm close to 150 rounds. I actually haven't cleaned it since the last time I shot it, so it'll be a good opportunity to this weekend before we go to clean it. I do want to shoot it again Sunday.
Yep. We need to work on my dad's rifle.
Yeah, so we'll be able to do a little bit more shooting. I'll probably clean it again Sunday night. It's just I enjoy taking that stuff apart and putting it back together. But I think right now I'm set for 75 yards. I want to take it to 150, just because if we do go to public land, I want to be able to take a longer shot than what it's set up for, and kind of have an idea of how to aim it. So that's where I'm at gear wise.
How about you, Robert? I know you froze when we were down there a week ago, so
Yeah,
raid the
definitely.
bin at
I
Walmart?
could have dressed warmer. I'm probably somewhere maybe in between you and Phil with my gear. My family kind of goes back like yours. I mean, it's Carhartts and flannels.
Yep.
I mean, there's no science behind it. So
that's how they used to kill deer.
I never owned anything camo until I bought a couple, fairly inexpensive pieces last year. I bought a pair of camo pants from Dunham's that were fleece lined, comfortable but definitely not heavyweight. And I ended up buying a nice, it's kind of a rain jacket, but it's heavy duty, and was able to layer under that last year. So the trip that we took a couple weeks ago, I bought a fleece lined jacket, the same weight to match the pants, and it's low profile and comfortable, but it's definitely, it didn't add a whole lot for keeping me warm.
Right.
So
You tried to dive into the wood burner when you got back.
I was cold. Well, I also sat out there an hour, I think, or longer than you two.
Yeah, we really pussed out.
and after I saw the buck that I didn't get to shoot at, from what I understand, the adrenaline drains you and you get shaky.
Yeah.
Guy at work was telling me about that. I never knew that, but after I saw that little doe the day before, the same thing happened. Actually, I was freezing in the deer blind with Jessica and had to ask her. She gave me her gloves. I mean, it's weird. It's just it's crazy how your body reacts. But in any case, I had to buy a new pair of boots this year. I mislocated mine. I don't know where they are, so it was an upgrade. I got a nice set of boots. So I'll be layering underneath what I got with flannels and wool sweaters and doing exactly what Phil said he doesn't like to do in the first podcast.
No, you know what? It's like, and I survived it, right? There's nothing wrong with it. And if you're the type that does that.
No, I get it. Because when I used to ski 10, 15 years ago,
Right.
I invested to wear one pair of pants that's just comfortable.
Yeah.
I get it. I just, with Corona this year, finances for most people have been uncertain. And I just don't want to cut into my savings. You got the holidays coming. I'm just not ready to spend much more money. I think I can get by with what I got, and I'll be looking to add a couple of key items next year that are probably more quality. So short of that, I bought a rifle last year.
It works.
350 Legend Savage Axis 2, and I did get a deer with it. So I'm ready to go.
I almost bought that rifle.
Yeah.
It was down between that and the Ruger. I don't know what. I think it's just because it's what the firearm store had.
That's kind of where I was. I went to a local dealer, Lake Erie, and they had it. There was a nice rebate, which they're offering this year as well. And it was in my budget for now. For something I use 3 days a year, it was justifiable.
Right.
And
They're
it worked.
great little guns for the price. You can't beat them.
It's accurate. It's on.
Yeah, I was shooting my dad's yesterday. His isn't the Axis 2, but his is the Axis, and he said it was bore sighted. And I was shooting at work at a stone pile, and I set up a couple handmade targets, 50 yards, and I was like, all right, let's just see where this hits. And it took me every bit of 12 shells to get it onto the paper.
Am I shooting blanks?
I could see the dust kicking up, but I didn't have like a spotter with me, and I wasn't shooting off like a real solid rest. It was off the back of the truck, off of a hoodie folded over, and it was cold before it was going to rain. But I was just trying to get it to where I could get something on the paper within the dots. And I was running out of ammo quick, and I was just cranking on that scope, like left, up. And I finally got it to where I got 4 shots. The last 4 rounds I had were in a 2-inch by 2-inch square.
Nice,
but they're still low and to the left.
Was he with you? Has he even shot it yet?
He hasn't shot it yet. So, and that was after shooting 100 rounds in the shotgun
Right.
for clay pigeons yesterday. So, yeah.
I'll be, it'll be.
It's a nice shooting gun, though. I really like it.
I love
Yeah.
the camo on that gun. They actually just had
Yeah.
that for sale again. I think they advertised it a week or two ago at Cabela's.
He got the bargain.
That was such a deal.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's a real nice gun, real nice scope. It should do really well for him where he's at. I sighted it at 50 because where he sits, he's not gonna get up and walk around. He's gonna sit in the blind. He's
Yeah.
gonna sit in, and 50 yards is really his max range. So it should be good for him. I want him to get some shots off on it though Sunday when we get down there, just so he's comfortable with it. But my plan is, well, I'm different from you guys. You guys are rifle hunters now, and I'm a shotgun hunter. I love the rifles, but I'm also like, what do I need a rifle for when I have 3 12 gauges in my gun cabinet that are all set up for killing deer? So
Because you can never have too many guns.
I know, but I got like 20 million other things to buy.
I don't see why a rifle doesn't fit right in.
Coronavirus and budgets. I'm laid off for the next month now, so my budgets are minimal.
It's an investment.
I understand that, but
It's like gold.
like Robert said, I use it 3 days a year.
So then we have a problem here. We need to hunt more.
I guess Ohio gun season's only, when you add the bonus days, in 10 days.
That's Ohio. Other states
I know,
around.
but money to buy tags in another state.
Yeah, so if you want to sponsor our hunts,
Yeah,
send us an email.
Please email us hellisallicatch@gmail.com.
I have a vacation time problem. So.
Yeah, that. So we all have issues. So I will be going into the woods with the trusty Remington 1100 semi-automatic open sight. I did put True Glows on it a few years ago, but
Yeah.
it's still iron sight True Glows, and I can hit anything within 100 yards with that thing.
That's
So,
a true story.
For sure.
offhand.
Yeah, my first time shooting it, I didn't even come close to the target. And you grabbed it. You're like, let me see if this is okay. Bow! You're like, yep, it's good.
What's wrong with you, Phil?
I don't need ammo because I was telling my boss today that for the past, I don't know, 10 years, I bought 2 or 3 boxes of Remington sluggers to take down every year, and I obviously don't kill anything, so I have 40, 50 rounds of 12 gauge slugs in the gun cabinet that I'm good on. I do need to go buy some foot warmers. I have all my stuff. I did this year buy a new, not new to me, but it's a used Under Armour Storm fleece line jacket to match my Under Armour pants. It's the first thing I've ever had that's matching. It is a little cold, but I don't mind layering up under it. So I'll probably wear like 6 shirts under it and a hoodie, and it
Gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
I don't care. I the more layers, whatever. It doesn't bother me.
Tank top, t-shirt, long sleeve tee. I got like a quilted quarter zip
Couple thermals.
thing I got from Sam's Club last year that's pretty warm.
Under
You wore a
Armour
wool
hoodie.
dress shirt.
I did wear a wool dress shirt. It's merino wool. I don't know what the blend is, but that was before you talked about it.
Yeah.
So
My pants are all right. I found if I don't wear jeans, if I wear like jogging pants or like
Yeah.
sweatpants, just sweatpants with thermals is way better than jeans. Jeans just hold cold like crazy, and
They do.
my boots are Rockies that I've had for 4 or 5 seasons now, but I always put boot warmers in them no matter what because I'm a big wimp, and as soon as my feet get cold, I'm done.
Yeah, and that's where there was some boot warmers I saw. They go over your boots, and I almost bought them, but I have a small heater. I'm gonna try to see how the heater goes for this year, and my hope is that at least one of the days do a little bit more walking than sitting.
And you won't need it.
Then you won't need it.
Yeah.
Because the boots I got are real nice, 800 gram insulate.
I think mine are 800s.
Yeah, and they were warm, and I only got cold once, and it was at 25, 26 degree morning, and I didn't get cold until 9:30. So after 3 hours of just sitting still, that's when I got cold. So I was really happy with that. And if you're walking at all, get the blood flowing a little bit, you'll be all right.
actually, I forgot that you mentioned that. Those boot covers, you sent it out in a text, and I'm like, yeah, those look cool. And then the closer we got, I'm like, man, I don't want to be cold. So I actually just ordered those a couple days ago.
Nice.
They were on sale, $45. They had great reviews, and they'll be nice if I sit. I'm actually planning on maybe trying to walk and push some deer to you guys one day. But we're going to give those a shot, and I'll let you guys know how they go.
So, before we get into expectation, I'm going to crack open this nasty-ass beer.
You don't know if it's nasty? You never had it.
It's probably gross. Okay, so I'm not a huge beer drinker.
And a beer drinker.
And,
Hard teas.
yeah, right. I'll drink a Twisted Tea or John Daly or whatever, but here we go. This is, yeah.
Voodoo Ranger.
Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's probably going to taste like garbage.
Regular IPA?
Well, I bought a variety pack, and those were not anything I liked.
It's not the worst I've ever had. I'm surprised. Could be I just finished coffee. My mouth's a little burnt, but
I'm
bad.
drinking, Robert brought some Southern Tiers. I had their live session IPA, which was pretty good, and now I'm drinking the new Juicy IPA,
all right, there's an
which isn't bad.
There's an aftertaste that tastes like shit, but
Southern Tier is a good brewing company. I've been to their home brewing, or their home facility in New York. We went there about 6 years ago. It's a pretty cool setup. They have one in downtown Cleveland that once all this crazy shit is over, we can go down and check out. They got a really cool spot down on Huron Avenue, I think.
Well, it's variety pack. It was right up the road at the store, and I bought one earlier this week, and I enjoyed all the beer, so I brought some to share.
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Absolutely. So what are your expectations? And I'm curious to see how your expectations for the trip weigh to mine. You've done this, obviously. If you read the articles you've written on catchandhell.com, you've been doing this since you were a kid.
Down there.
Yeah, down there too. So what is your expectation for this year's trip?
I would think that one deer for 5 of us is a success.
Ha!
That's a good hunt. I will be very disappointed if we all get skunked, but I won't be as disappointed if we've all seen deer and if we take a shot and miss. That's deer hunt. It's never been, and maybe this is the year where it changes, where we bring multiple deer home in multiple trucks. It just hasn't been that. It hasn't been that since I was like 20.
What changed?
I think a couple things. So when I first started going down there, when I was a kid or a young teen, there were a lot more hunters in the woods, and coupled that with, I always felt like we had really good weather on opening day. I never remember any like rain, and that was before Ohio. While they didn't have rifles at the time, they also didn't have plugs and anybody's shotguns. So it literally was a war zone. They always joke, all the old guys used to joke that they knew when my grandpa Roy was shooting because they could hear his 1100 going off 5 times because it was just pow, 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 pow. But they joke about that, but they were all like that. It was unload the gun and then just speed load it back in and just shoot that thing into the ground. And if you don't get it, the guy 100 yards up the holler. Is holler a word? You know, Robert, you're kind of a hillbilly.
I'm not a hillbilly.
You're a redneck.
He said, "Fuck you." I'm not a hillbilly.
No, but it's my whole family is hillbillies. My dad and all of his brothers, or all of his siblings, they're all from Arkansas. So
That's more redneck than hillbilly.
So I know the term. Yes.
Yeah. So in the old days, it was like guy here, another guy 150 yards down the hill,
right.
Another guy 150 yards down the hill, and if they came in between you, you didn't see them. I mean, you couldn't see the other guy; it's so thick. But yeah, there were very few times. It was not like the old photos you see of the old guys standing around and there's 6 deer hanging from a tree outside the front of the cabin. I've never seen that down there. So, like I said, a successful hunt for me would be a deer. That's always a success because we all get to share in on that. I think I'm hoping that that's the case after what we've seen the past week. I think what we're doing or what we've done down there is working.
We'll see.
And that is a lot to say on a year where we don't have a lot on the trail cams.
Yeah, we saw more in person than we've seen on the trail cams
And that's
for 2 years.
partially because our trail cams aren't great. You know, we're not running like $200 Moultrie.
Yeah, but how much of that do you think is the rut?
Some of it. I think it's the rut, the food, the water, like we've talked. The fact that we have been down there more, so we're moving around on the property more than we normally do this time of year.
You think that gets them moving more?
I think that keeps them out of our area more. They get a little bit unsettled when we're down there. So that's kind of my expectation. I really was thinking about this today because I'm getting into that part of the year where Facebook reminds you of all the posts you've seen, you know, your years past.
Yep.
And I'm like notorious for saying like I'm not going to post anything about how I'm looking forward to the hunt, and then I always do. I'm like, we're coming back with deer, and then we never come back with deer.
Funny.
So I'm trying not to be like, rah rah, let's go kill deer and drink much, Robert.
Sometimes.
I really wish that shit was recorded with a camera.
Someday we'll have all this on video.
Trying to drink this beer with this microphone in my mouth practically, so pardon me if I spill some.
That's all right. I'm burping again. Or I don't ever burp when I drink beer. All of a sudden I come up here and sit and I'm like,
Yeah, same here.
so that's my expectation. What are you thinking? This is year 2 for you. I hate to bring you down.
Well, you did. Okay. So the way you said it was set up with a guy every 150 yards, that's almost, if you look at where I have that stuff marked on Onyx,
Which we'll put in the next video.
which we will show, it's kind of what we have. We have a steady line north to south.
Oh, that's a one correction
sorry.
to the last notes. Phil
Correct.
was saying north to south. It's actually no, it is north to south.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. The way you were describing where
Step
that
off,
deer,
bro.
where you were describing that deer was running, the way, if you go back and listen to it, you were saying north to south, and that's not the way the deer went. It went east to west.
East to west. So, but our
Anyways.
blinds are set up north to south. And the good thing about it is if we can get up on top of that hill, right, where your old blind is, we have decent coverage
On almost the whole property.
on almost the entire property. If we come back, now I don't know how long the other guys are staying. I know we're only staying till Wednesday morning. I actually got I knew it was coming. The shit from the wife about when are you going to be back started already. So I know we're only staying till Wednesday morning. I don't know how long they're staying, but if only one gets tagged, to me, it's still good, right? Every time we can get one, especially on the property, that'd be good. Because one on the property would be better than last year.
Yeah,
but-
because Roberts was not on the property; it was in public.
Right. And if we don't get one on the property, to me, we're almost back to the drawing board with, what do we need to do to the property to get more deer on it? So,
What do we improve for next year? Back to the drawing board.
Which-
It's always back to the drawing board with the property.
Your property's. You talked about how thick it was. We cleared out those two areas in the small area, but you talked about that buck and that doe. That's still thick brush. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
walk through that.
Nope.
I mean, 15 acres when you're surrounded by how many acres did you say of public land?
3,500.
I mean, that's just a small little blip, man. I mean, and they go through there, and you've done a little bit to try to attract them.
And really, the property, the where they go, where they come out of, is the property next to us as
Talk
well.
about the shots you have on 15 acres. Oh, part of that's the road that drives through the middle. Part of it's the cabin. Part of it's hills. I mean, you really have, even on the land that Aaron invited us and shares with us, it's a very small
It's like 10
section that we
acres,
have a shot
really.
of.
Yeah.
yeah. And honestly, it's almost, but it sucks. You want to be able to say we're going to go and get it on our property. But the property itself is almost a really good ticket to the public land that's around it. And now even better to the private land, the 200 acres next to it.
Yeah, that we're not landlocked, and we have public land
Right.
bordering right up to us, and a neighbor that's been generous this year. That's I mean, we have 15 acres but we really are welcome to all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Almost 4,000 acres.
The thing with the public area is if you're going to go hunt up there Monday morning, you better be there at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Post your truck up because people come in from Burr Oak and come in from all these different places. They're staying at all these cabins around there, and it's that you just don't know who's going to be in there. And every time we've gone down there this year for just the past couple of weeks, we've seen guys archery hunting right off our property. So
Yeah, last year, opening day, we heard 50 shots, 75 shots before noon,
yeah,
and we saw nothing, and they were close. I
Right.
mean, it's what, a mile and
Yeah.
a half, maybe. And Wednesday morning, we almost left and decided to hunt for a little bit, which we're going to do again this year.
Of course.
especially if we don't have anything in the truck.
Well, even if we do.
So
Landowner tag.
I went up there not knowing what to expect with the amount of shots that we heard both Monday and Tuesday, and I went up there Wednesday. It was a ghost town. I think guys just take 1 or 2 days after the
usually-
holiday.
Right. And back to work.
So I was surprised that I was able to find a spot to sit.
If you get to the second or third day of gun season down there, you're working at what's your plan B? Where are we pushing? Who's sitting where?
Right.
Who's driving where?
And I'd like to have that planned
Yeah, and I
before
think-
we get in the truck to go, or at least plan it in the
I think
truck.
we have a rough idea. I mean, I have some ideas of where we can drive stuff. It's nice knowing that my brother-in-law is also a guy that likes to get up and walk. And I don't mind walking, and we'll just figure out, hey, this is the spot we're going to push, and we're going to come around this way, and you guys sit over here. And
That was the
We'll go
plan
from
last
there.
year. Me and Phil were frustrated that we hadn't seen anything, and we were like, "Hey, I'm gonna go sit in this field till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I'm gonna start walking towards you guys, and when I get there, we'll leave." And they walked out. So
I was glad you called me when you did because I was getting cold. And the ladder stands that I bought last year were kind
One
of
day,
sketchy.
about 2 decades from now, when we're on episode 750 or whatever, we will tell the full story of what happened that day.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's incredible. There's laugh as hard as you can. There's full exhaustion. There's death,
panic.
panic. There's
Every emotion.
oh my
possible.
god, did you kill somebody? That is a good story. So not yet, but soon.
I have
Within
one.
this lifetime, we will tell it.
Yeah, I have a story like that too. My big buck story is very similar to that.
Robert, what are your expectations?
I don't have any.
Good.
Honestly, I grew up an outdoorsman, a lot more, rabbit hunting than deer hunting. Actually, I deer hunted once in my life previous to last year. Looking for my microphone for my headset. I deer hunted once, 16 years ago. Saw a big buck, got buck fever, missed it. So, it's not something, I don't live to deer hunt, but it's something I enjoy doing, especially with friends. So it was a nice change, but my expectations is for one of you guys to get one this year, because I went down there, I got lucky, I guess I would say. And Aaron has spent a lot of time down there getting things ready. Phil, you've invested a lot of time doing research and whatnot. 2 weeks ago was a blast, just seeing the deer and being able to watch them with the crossbow. That it wasn't mine, but I had a shot that I didn't get to take because it's tough. You said you were silhouetted. I'm sitting in that deer blind, and it was just there. You don't even realize it, but
Right.
it just shows up, and your heart starts going. And I mean, it's super exciting. But I want you guys to at least have a shot this year. But yeah, I think one between 5 guys is a realistic expectation. But I know how it goes. There's no guarantees for sure.
Right.
I would really like for my dad to get one. He's put more time and energy into that place than anybody. And I think he had a shot at, no, We weren't with him last year. So the year before, he shot at a deer, missed it. I think he shot at 2 deer that year. He missed both of them. Just nerves. I'd really love for him to get one. That would be probably the best thing that could happen. I have a hat I'm waiting to give him.
Yeah.
That I got when I killed my deer from my grandpa. So it's the one my kids have worn in the videos.
Check them out on YouTube.
Yep. So, trying to keep that as like a tradition thing. I'm keeping that for Dad. And
Well, shit, now he's going to know.
maybe he can pass that down to Ben when he gets his deer and Jack when he gets his eventually. But that's my ultimate. I'm going to hunt until like the end of season. I don't mind going out muzzleloader hunting in 3-degree weather.
I won't this year.
Most,
don't have a muzzleloader,
most people think I'm well, the past, like, we didn't have it last winter. Last winter was really warm, but the winters before that were like the
Polar
vortex
Yeah.
shit. The last deer I killed was a doe on muzzleloader season.
That shadow.
No. That wasn't my dog deer, Robert. This was it was the same year though. I killed a doe on like January 3rd in the evening, and it was like 5 degrees. I remember dropping the kids off at my parents' house, and they're like, "Are you sure you want to go deer hunting tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going." And it was a terrible experience. If you want me to tell the story, I will, because I didn't realize my muzzleloader is a CVA Optima 2, but I don't have a scope on it. I shoot iron sights on that as well, and I was sitting over a pile of corn at 30 yards, and I had like 9 does come out at me, and they all went to the corn, and it was like, all right, which one's the biggest one? And I did not realize that at some point in the trip, my rear sight had went loose. So the doe I shot, I spined, and I dropped her, and it took a lot. Deer are resilient. It took a lot to put this deer down, and I felt really bad at the end of the day. And then I learned a really good lesson. If you kill a deer when it is 3 degrees outside, after you're done field dressing it, and you want to, it's like 7 o'clock at night and you're freezing to death, take the skin off of it then, and then hang it to let the blood drip out of it. Who cares what the neighbors think? By the time you get up in the morning, it's still going to be dark because it's Ohio in January. It's dark till 9 in the morning. I field dressed that deer, went to my grandparents because at the time I didn't have anywhere to hang it. Hung it in their backyard. We're like, we'll get this tomorrow morning. It was a Saturday. I killed it. We'll deal with it on Sunday. By Sunday morning, that thing was a 150-pound block of ice with all of its fur on it.
I think you mentioned that last year when we were peeling that one.
And we took it into the garage, put a little heater on it, and tried to thaw it out. And it took like 2 hours to get the cape off of this thing, when normally, if you have a semi-cold deer, I could take the cape off in like 10 minutes. It was a giant pain in the ass. And so note to self, if you're going to take anything away from me, don't wait.
Right.
Do it.
Don't freeze it.
Don't freeze it. I don't think we're going to run into that this week, but anyways, that's my side rant about how crazy I am for deer hunting.
That makes you mad for taking a shot so late in the night, too.
What do you mean?
Well, you shoot it late in the night, you're going to get home late. You got more work to do still.
Yeah, but it's dark at like 4:30.
True.
Technically, I mean, if that deer would have died when I first shot it, I'd have been home by 6 o'clock. But I shot it and then called the guy who was going to come help me get it out of there. And by the time I waited, I was like, well, it'll die by the time he gets here. He lives like 10 minutes away. By the time he got there, the deer was still there looking at me. So a couple more. Anyways, It took like an hour to kill it. And then it took like another half an hour to get it in the truck. And by that point, he's like, dude, I'm late for dinner with my in-laws. I was like, sorry, let's go. It was an ordeal. Not the most...
Tactical kill.
No. I've since tightened the iron sight, and I checked it yesterday. It's still tight. And I double-checked the iron sight on my Remington 1100. Still good to go. It could happen to anybody.
Sure.
So... those are the plans. Stay tuned for the video. And the follow-up podcast we're going to do when we get back, after we all obviously take our wives out to a lovely dinner and
Of course.
shopping and wine and whatever else they want for letting us go away for 4 days.
I'm just waiting for the Amazon list to grow.
Yeah, you're going to come home to a garage full of boxes.
It's already starting.
Starting. 'Tis the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool, though. We got a little bucket of snacks for the drivers, and it's cool. Take care of the drivers. They're here every day.
Yeah.
So
I got a couple things coming, but nothing crazy yet.
your Christmas present showed up today.
I haven't thought of anything for Christmas, so Robert just asked us that before. I don't know what I'm getting the kids. I don't know what I'm getting her. I don't know what we're doing for any of it.
Courtney wants to get Jace a drum set.
Jackson wants a drum set, and Lindsay's like, "You're crazy."
I don't have a second house to put Jace in with a drum set.
No, I don't. I'm not putting Jackson up here.
No, it's our studio now.
Right. Sorry. I don't know what they'll get.
We'll see.
I'd already told them, too, they're not getting PlayStation 5s and Xboxes. So
Yeah, that was on their list, and I had to, convince Jax he didn't want one. I had to tell him, kind of true, that the first generation releases always have issues, and turns out I read an article that they are having issues.
Both of them.
Yeah, and I showed him. I was like, "See, this is why we wait." He's like, "Oh, you're right." I'm like, "Thank God."
well, at some point when it's the dead of winter and we don't have any hunting or fishing to do, unless anybody wants to go ice fishing with us and take us, you guys can do a video game podcast, and
You can just get your ass on there and play with us.
I'll never catch up.
When did we play till last night, Robert? 1? I played till 1.
I played till like 3:15.
Oh my God,
I
my
fell
eyes
asleep
were
at like
hurting,
10.
so I got off early.
Not too often I get to do that though.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's just not my thing.
whatever. You're missing out. It's a good time.
Someday we'll put a video game system up here, and we can make it our own little.
You'll lose production on the other parts of your life.
Yes, that's probably why I don't do
I
it.
would say that's probably why you don't do it.
Right.
We played. I'll play video games, but I just haven't done it. Anyways, that's a podcast for another day. Yeah, so stay tuned to the videos on
Yeah.
YouTube and Facebook. This podcast will be out probably next week while we're gone, and then we'll get the next one up the week after that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we have good news, and just keep following along, keep listening, keep sharing. And we appreciate all the feedback you're giving us. It's all pretty positive. So,
Yeah, Robert, thanks for coming on.
yeah.
No, thank you guys for having me. It's cool to be a part of this. You guys are doing a good job.
You'll be on the next one too.
You're always welcome.
So,
That's it.
all right, that's a
Happy
wrap.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Later, guys.
See ya.